Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. Halfway point of the week. Razorbacks are looking great in this series.
Wish they didn't have that one loss because the second loss and they're out of it. But yes, they're playing very well. Had a 7-0 lead over UCLA last night up in Omaha. Had a bit of a shaky ninth inning, but hey, Arkansas held on to win it by a score of 7-3 over the UCLans. And that pretty much sets up the scene forthcoming now for tonight. Coastal Carolina will play Louisville, and that will be the first game. That's actually this afternoon. Coastal Carolina is really good. They're undefeated. Louisville unbeaten. This will be a very good game. And then you have the Razorbacks and LSU playing tonight. Now, they're two conference rivals, of course, from the Southeastern Conference. That'll be a terrific matchup. But that's all at the College World Series up in Omaha, and they are moving right along now. Championship games coming up this weekend.
And again, it's been a lot of fun to watch these. It looks like the Florida Panthers are going to keep that trophy in Florida.
Well, they do. For the second straight year, the Panthers are the Stanley Cup winners, and it makes the people in Canada just terribly upset.
I'm sure it does.
They can't seem to get that Stanley Cup back north of the border, which really, with all the players being Canadian and foreign, from Europe and so forth and so on. That's really where it belongs. But, hey, they represent the United States, and they took the ice, as paradoxical as this is, in Sunrise, Florida. Sunrise is just outside Miami, and that's where the Florida Panthers call their home. It used to be in Miami proper, but now it's in this suburb. Nonetheless, Panthers, a stronger team, should have won it, did win it, by 4-2 over the Edmonton Oilers. And last night's final, no contest. Florida 5, Edmonton 1. Florida Panthers hoist the Stanley Cup for the second straight year.
It's going to be a tough mountain to climb for the Pacers without that guy on that squad, man.
Yeah, that's Tyrese Halliburton, about whom you're talking, and he is injured. He has a calf strain in his right leg. They're going to further x-ray it or MRI it today to find out whether or not he can really legitimately play tomorrow night. And he better, because that's what the Indiana Pacers need. Halliburton from Iowa State was injured in the last game, only had 4 points. And that was very costly. He's a big-time scorer, upper 20s and in the 30s and so forth, and a very good athlete. But without him, Indiana has big trouble. So we'll see what happens. They play again tomorrow night in Indianapolis, and the Indiana Pacers have to win. They trail 3-2 to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I know you're saving your chocolate chips for the college football season, but you got any on this one?
On this one, no. NBA, never. That is entirely
Maybe
too chancy.
You think it's just as rigged as I do,
No.
I'm just kidding.
Not rigged, but the talent level is there's so much parity in the NBA that any of these teams, you're betting the point spread.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily betting the
exactly.
win, and that's a crapshoot.
Yeah, and again, that's why it's so tough to bet on the NFL too. The Cardinals and Royals both got dubs yesterday. Let's start with the Cardinals.
Cardinals have to. In fact, Mike, they have to sweep this team. This is the Chicago White Sox. They're playing at Guaranteed Rate Stadium in Chicago. And while the White Sox are probably by a few degrees better from what they were last year when they set the record for futility, they still are not very good. They're a very mediocre baseball team at the best. I don't even know any of the players. But the fact is, I get this, the Cardinals win last night 12-2, and that's about an average score that a good baseball team should beat the Chicago White Sox and the Colorado Rockies. Should thump them pretty good. 12-2. Cardinals trailed 1-0 going into the top of the second inning and scored 5 runs. How did they score the 5 runs? They knocked the cover off the ball, right? They hardly got the ball out of the infield. Chicago throwing the ball all over the diamond. They're walking batters. There's scratch hits here, bloop hits here. It was classic baseball, small ball, but the White Sox could not handle anything that was going on, and St. Louis beats them rather handily. Now, I'm telling you, the Cardinals have to sweep these 3 games. At the very least, they have to win 2 out of the 3, and preferably it's all 3 of them. And that gets them off the schneid, so to speak, and maybe they're back playing some Cardinals baseball again. Win last night, Cardinals 12, White Sox 2, and they'll play again tonight at Guaranteed Rate Stadium. Chicago is not very good. The other Chicago team is good, the Chicago Cubs. And the Cardinals will play them the latter part of next week. But for the White Sox, hey, you better make hay while the sun shines.
I love that phrase. Same deal with the Royals in Texas. They need to get this series, too.
We've said it all along, the Royals are really not that bad a team. And as poor as they've been playing, well, they got better last night with a 6-1 win over the Texas Rangers. Salvador Perez had 4 RBIs. Seth Lugo was the big story in this game. Great pitching performance. Allowed 1 run, 3 hits, struck out 9 in 6 innings. And this is down at Arlington, Texas that this happened. That's a really, really good performance by Lugo, who's an old pro. He's 36 years old. He's been around for a while. And the Royals do get a win. Now, Kansas City is, I'll tell you, they're a good team. Are they a great team? Probably not. But they are a good team, better from what they have been playing. Now, the Springfield Cardinals, they've been blowing everybody away. They're just a really good baseball team, but it came to an end last night playing the Corpus Christi Hooks in the opener of a 6-game series, and Corpus Christi won the game 8-4. Now, the Springfield Cardinals are very good. They have games coming up actually later today. They played this morning out at Hammons Field, and then night games the rest of the way against the Hooks. Corpus Christi is the Houston Astros AA farm club, and Astros had some talent on this ball club, but again, we'll wait to see what happens.
And last but not least, the Pro Golf Tour continues. In what part of the country?
Well, they're in New England. They're in Cromwell, Connecticut. And this is interesting because the U.S. Open was last week. Well, this event, the Travelers, is another of the PGA signature events. And that's when the PGA puts a lot of prize money. It's $20 million to be divided up, of course, among those who are the winners. As a result, all of the big-name players are involved in the Travelers. It is also a points tournament. As the Pro Golf Tour goes down, they have 4 events, and they have points going with them. And it all boils down to who plays for the championship in Atlanta at the end of August and in September. So it's a pretty big deal. Anyway, that's the signature coming up, and Scheffler and McIlroy and J.J. Spahn and all the big names in the tournament will be entered in this one starting tomorrow.
Ned, you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you on Thursday.